What is up, guys? It's CAPziCORN here, and today in this video I'm going to be talking about the new update in Black Ops 4. So it was 1.04 update, and then they've nerfed a couple guns and they buffed a couple guns, and in this video I'm just going to be talking about all of it pretty much. So let's just start off with the playlist updates. So the new feature playlist is Gun Game, which is, everybody knows Gun Game, no parties allowed, and I'm glad they added Gun Game because this game didn't really have any party modes in it. I was really hoping, I hope they added a lot more party modes. They also have now Mercenary Deathmatch, which is just basically TDM and Kill Confirm. I hope they keep the Mercenary game modes like Mercenary Deathmatch and the other one where it was with just Domination and Control. I hope they keep those like permanent because I'm a solo player and these actually are so good to play, and I love these. And they also have Chaos Domination, which is 150 point rounds 6v6. Now on to weapon buffs and actually nerfs. Here's come to the ARs. They did a slight reduction to the ADS move speed for all assault rifles, so that means you will strafe slower now when using the ARs and stuff. And they also did a slight reduction to ADS and transition speed for all assault rifles. So pretty much all the ARs in this game got nerfed, which is a good thing because this was a very AR heavy game and SMGs were pretty much useless. And now on to like specific guns. The ICR-7 got reduced headshot damage and also got a slight reduction to reload speed, which is good. Which is so good because the ICR was probably the best gun in the whole game. I was actually expecting them to, nerf the range on this thing, but any nerf to it is probably good because it was so overpowered. Now onto the Vapor XKG. It got a reduced close range headshot damage and also has the damage now falls off sooner. They also nerfed high caliber and has a reduced headshot multiplier. And that's pretty much all the nerfs for the ARs specifically. Now let's move on to the SMGs. The MX-9 got its ranges extended from all damages, which is good. So now it probably become the best SMG in the game to use. But then they got high caliber nerfed. They got a reduced headshot multiplier. Personally, I think they should have just left high caliber the way it was, but for balancing reasons, they have to do this. The Corday got all of its ranges extended. And its belt-fed operator mod also got an increased overheat rate, which is good because most people just spray with that thing and there's really no consequences with it. And the SOG 9mm, the dual-wield operator mod got a reduced hipfire actually. What basically is they worded it a little weird here, but now the hipfire is worse using the dual-wield operator mod. Now on to the tactical rifles. The ABR got an extended maximum damage range, and its repeater operator mod now takes longer to accelerate fire rate. They're trying to do this so that the ABR doesn't become as overpowered as it was in the beta, but still making it as good. The stock attachments also got nerfed on the ABR. Now it has a slight reduction in movement speed, so you'll strafe slower. And the laser sight and laser sight 2 got buffed and has improved hipfire accuracy. Swordfish also got tuned with, and they reduced the headshot multiplier with high caliber, and the Penta Burst operator mod has a reduced extra granted clip size. So basically, you have less bullets using the Penta Burst operator mod using the Swordfish, which is good because they don't want to make it the go-to tactical rifle. They want everything to be used. Now on to sniper rifles. Also, now they're trying to make the rest of the sniper rifles compete with the Paladin because right now the Paladin is probably the best one to use. And speaking of the Paladin, they actually nerfed it so you can no longer get a one-shot kill when someone has a full TAC 5 boost with high caliber 2. They actually buffed FMJ2 using the Paladin so you can do more improved damage against score streaks, and Stabilizer 2, now you can hold your breath sooner after the previous hold. Now on to the Outlaw, probably the worst the worst sniper rifle in the whole game. So many people say it's a hit marker machine, but now they improved the base damage from 110 to 130, and they reduced the idle sway and increased base movement speed. They also buffed it with a slight increase in ADS movement speed bonus, which is good, because this gun buff. It was most definitely probably the worst sniper rifle in the whole game. The SDM got increased clip size from 10 to 12 and a reduced idle sway. And the Kasha also got its improved damage from 120 to 110 and also got its stock slightly increased in ADS movement speed bonus. Now on to the LMGs. Most of these LMGs I say were really overpowered. Like the Titan, that was really, that was terrible. And also in the VKM with its it was basically the Gorgon from Black Ops 3. The Titan got a reduced headshot damage and a reduced hipfire accuracy, and the stock also got a reduced ADS movement speed bonus. So they really nerfed the Titan so it wouldn't be overpowered like it was before. The VKM 750 got a reduced movement speed while firing and reduced damage, and they reduced the damage slightly. The Fat Barrel Operator mod now has reduced bullet tracer size. I don't really know what that means by the reduced bullet tracer size, because actually I've never ran into the VKM or the Fat Barrel Operator mod in a game. But I'm guessing that's a good thing though. The Hades LMG got a Crossbar Operator mod nerf. It has reduced movement speed and accuracy, which actually I'm super happy about because that thing was overpowered. And the Steady Grip attachment, it got improved recoil mitigation. Now on to pistols. They got a slight reduction to ADS and transition speed for all pistols, and the RK7 Garrison got a slight increase to the time in between bursts and a slight reduction to a reload speed, which is good because the Garrison is basically the RK5 of BO from like Black Ops 3. Now shotguns also got tuned. The choke barrel on the Mod 12 has a shorter 1-kill hit range, and the Dragon Breast operator mod had an issue resolved where it occasionally triggered incorrect visual and sound effects on targets. The SC12 shotgun had its strobe light operator mod addressed to an issue with the strobe light where it would remain even when you died. And they still have a live update coming soon to reduce the range at which the strobe light interferes with enemy's aim, which is good because that thing, oh, that is so annoying when someone just pulls that out and you can't even see shit with it. Now onto all attachments. The Grip 2 attachment got a reduced ADS flinch mitigation. The suppressor got a reduced damage fall-off range, and the holographic sight got a reduced ADS recoil. Dual zoom optics reduced ADS recoil. Recon optic reduced ADS recoil, and ELO optic slightly increased ADS recoil. And now on to specialists. They actually tuned with specialists as well in this update. Now with Ajax, they're providing more strategic options with the ballistic shield to help ensure the shield isn't active too often in the games. Explosives now apply partial damage to the front of the deployed ballistic shield user, and the ballistic shield now takes longer to earn, which I'm so glad because that shield was so overpowered. And now on to Nomad. They want to encourage Nomad to work more closely with his K9 unit to maximize effectiveness, and they reduced the K9 unit health by 10% because I'm pretty sure that thing has like around 400 health. Crash, while they're happy to say that the support specialist is so popular, but he's a bit too effective with store streak farmers. So now they reduced the teammate used pack score event from 50 to 25. So now the pack that he throws down to where you get ammo and shit, you now only get 25 from that if people pick up your stuff rather than 50, which is really good because you can just easily get your streaks if you're using Crash. On to Firebreak. The Purifier has been restored to its former glory, so that means they buffed it. They increased the Purifier's flame damage to be a guaranteed eventual kill against a player who doesn't have tactical mask equipped. Oh my gosh, this thing sounds really overpowered if they're making it just like it was from Black Ops 3. Recon had its sensor dart reduced. The duration for the sensor dart was reduced, and it resolved an issue where the voiceover would incorrectly state that the player's sensor dart was destroyed. I actually encountered that before, and I was confused because he would just say, "Hey, your sensor dart's broke," and I'm like, "What?" Torque had an increased earn rate for the barricade, and it also had increased hit points for barricade. And they also addressed an issue that prevented TACCOM from telling the player that their barricade was taking damage. Prophet had it greatly increased Tempest projectile speed and slightly increased Tempest chain distance. So it got a buff to the Tempest. And they also resolved an issue where being hit by an explosive charge would disable the Tempest charge, preventing further arcing. I don't know what that means, but that sounds good. Now on to spawns. For TDM, they tuned spawn logic around how enemies impact where the game chooses to respawn the player. They also adjusted spawns in slums, summit, militia, and firing range, which I'm super glad about because I swear the spawns before this update, they were terrible. They were terrible. They were probably the worst spawns I've ever encountered in Call of Duty. In Domination, they adjusted the spawns in Icebreaker, Contraband, Hacienda, Payload, Gridlock, Slums, Summit, Militia, Jungle, and Firing Range. On Hardpoint, they also tuned spawn logic tuning. They tuned spawn logic tuning around how to active hardpoint affects nearby spawns. This should provide more predictable spawns when battling over an active hardpoint. Additional global spawns adjustments to improve the ability for a player to anchor a location for their team's respawns relative to the active hardpoint. Spawn adjustments made for frequency and seaside. Honestly, the spawns for this game all around were terrible, but now with this update, they should be good. Free for All also had spawn adjustments made to Slums, Summit, Militia, and Firing Range. Control spawns were also adjusted to the same maps. Onto gear, the stim shot now has increased time to fully heal the player. Armor, they resolved an issue where the armor protected from more damage than intended when hitting areas of the body that have damage multipliers, such as the head or upper chest. This primarily affected weapons with chest modifiers such as sniper rifles or weapons with high caliber too. The acoustic sensor has its they reduced the range at which sprinting enemies are now detected, so they nerfed that. Now onto perks. Dead Silence has reduced player movement volume and the distance that players equipped with Dead Silence can be heard by enemies. The intention for Dead Silence is not to be completely silent, but also not to allow enemies to hear your movement from longer distances. So they reduced player. They nerfed Dead Silence. Engineer, the extraction helicopter and heist will no longer be highlighted by the engineer perk. I actually remember seeing that on what's it called? I remember seeing that glow up, and I was confused when that happened. On score streaks, the Mantis they resolved an issue where the Mantis could be destroyed by touching the out-of-bounds area of a map. The dart got increased explosive radius and damage, and players can now use a second dart when earning 2 dart score streaks. And the strike team now also got tuned with, where they prevented strike team kills from contributing towards owners' kills without dying metal. So basically, there was a glitch where you can call in a strike team, and all the kills they would get will count towards like a nuclear. So now they fixed that. Overall gameplay adjustments they did, where they reduced ranges required for long shots for assault rifles, tactical rifles, SMGs, and light machine guns. I found this to be a real struggle when I was trying to get the long shots for ARs. So I'm super glad they fixed this. They also resolved an issue where the hard stop challenge could reset before reaching 300. They also resolved an issue where the marksman mastery challenge would not give 10,000 XP upon completion. They resolved an issue where destroying friendly score streaks would award score. I didn't even know that was a thing. And players can no longer crouch or go prone while performing a gesture. Onto game modes. They increased XP earn rate in heist. They increased the amount of XP earned per kill in free-for-all. They resolved an issue where hardcore wins were not counted toward challenges. They resolved an issue in free-for-all where recon players could receive vision pulse assist scores. Silent plant option in custom games should now make planting and defusing bombs completely silent. Onto map adjustments. They adjusted icebreaker to cover. They adjusted cover pieces to discourage players from spawn camping. They added cover to the lower respawn side, and onto slums now. They adjusted cover pieces to discourage spawn camping and random miscellaneous stuff. Several map fixes to address the exploits that allow players to leave the intended play space. So this is pretty much all the things they did. One more thing. They actually tuned with theater mode as well. Theater files recorded before this update will no longer be viewable due to significant architectural changes to the system. As noted in our previous major update, we will make every effort to keep instances of incompatibility to a minimum. They also added a watermark in the HUD that only displays when in theater mode. So now that they tuned basically almost everything, except there's actually more. That was all for multiplayer. There's still some blackout updates. They resolved an audio issue that, where footsteps sound muffly. They tweaked settings to ensure friendly teammate footsteps are now quieter than enemy footsteps. They adjusted footsteps for all armor types in first person and third person to give better directional and distance information. They resolved an issue that occasionally caused footsteps to be silent and resolved issues that cause footsteps to become muffled and when they shouldn't be, which is so good because the footsteps for some reason in Blackout were just so confusing and they were really bad. There's now 100 player solos added to the featured playlist and maximizing player count set to 88 for duos and squads on Blackout. The armor now allows more damage to pass through an area of bodies that have more damage multipliers, such as the head or upper chest. For example, headshots now do more damage against level 3 armor. Character missions. They unlocked the remaining specialist character missions: Battery, Firebreak, Nomad, Prophet, and Ruin. They found item found notifications. To tag an item for your teammate, they approach the item, select the bottom center command on your command wheel. This will display the item in text on your team's HUD and highlight the team in the world for your team. Increase the brightness of items when a teammate tags them as item found via the command wheel. Increase duration that items tagged using item found are displayed in the world to your team. So now I'm guessing is how they're going to do this is that where once you find an item, you find the item for your whole team, and they want you to highlight it for your whole team using this new notification system. onto some miscellaneous stuff they fixed in Blackout. They resolved an issue that allowed players to shoot through certain rocks, improved visual quality of the grass, resolved an issue where the after action report would show double damage when in squads, and resolved an issue where echelon ranking wasn't showing properly at max. So overall, this were pretty much all the updates for Blackout and standard multiplayer. There's some zombies, but I won't be touching those. And they also fixed some stuff using the social, when players can now invite players who are online but not in the game to their in-game party. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this, and if you would like me to do future patch notes videos, and subscribe if you're new, and peace.